necessarily rooting for him. I think it's in 2. Or no, two's easier to watch. What?
I wasn't recording.
You know what? We noticed pretty quick. That's good. That's good.
Hello!
Hello and welcome to
Sorry, cut. Dustin, what is this?
Oh, okay, well, all right. Due to circumstances, I'm not the chicken today. We have this little hat on at the Bird HQ, and just
In the nest.
strapping on.
You know what? I don't hate it.
You don't hate it?
Yeah, I kind of like it. Let's keep do it again.
There's
Let's
a
go again.
continuation here. Bird, black, black. We're good.
Okay.
We're becoming one. You know, because
we are of one egg.
You know, Bird, you've convinced me. You've convinced me. And I hate to admit it. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The Minions are funny.
Yes! What? The Minions are unquestionably super cute and funny.
Yes.
They're objectively super cute and funny.
Yes.
You cannot watch any of the Despicable Me's, the Minion movie, any of the Minion shorts, 3D or 2D, without laughing.
Oh, by the way, we're talking about... So we're doing a little 3-part extravaganza on Illumination's Despicable Me series as well as the Minion series. We're going to first be talking about the Despicable Me films, the trilogy all in one go. Then we're going to be talking about Minions. Then when Minions 2, Rise of Gru comes out.
We're so dedicated to you and to this that we're going to see it in theaters and give you a very, very fast turnaround on the Rise of Gru review.
Minion Mania swept over you.
Minion Mania, consumed. My whole personality has been reforged by Minions. I tried to connect with an older person recently. She said banana, and I thought, oh, she's a Minion freak. I got this. And I started speaking Minion at her, and she just walked away.
Awful.
She said banana, and I think it was just a mistake. No one's just gonna be like banana and not mean banana. Like, but I was like, oh, papagao, papadao, la la. And she just was like, and walked away.
So we'll get on the Minions here in a little bit.
Right,
but
because they're not technically what the Despicable Me movies are about.
They're absolutely not. That's the Despicable Me series is very much a vehicle for the Minions nowadays, it seems.
But it was intended to be about the principal character, Gru.
When you look at the films and you step back and look at Gru's story within each film, what you realize is that he's going through life experiences.
So we watched this little interview with the director, creator, someone talking about the trilogy.
Someone connected to this film.
It had to be someone.
Some idiot.
And they were discussing the fact that Gru takes a journey, like a raw emotional character retrospective. You would think he was talking about like Woody from Toy Story, you know,
or Nick Cage's character from Pig.
Yes.
I don't fuck my pig.
I watched the film.
Grasping, reaching, an emotional journey.
Nothing.
He's not an anti-hero, he's an anti-villain, right?
Yes.
Like, he's supposed to be evil, he's supposed to be despicable. He sets out to steal the moon, which is supposed to be his big heist, and it's like, who cares?
They're going to steal the moon!
But I have just a big problem with Gru being like sort of evil, sort of bumbling, kind of good at his job, Not really.
He's
like
capable at some points.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not like a consistent, like dependable character trait that he is good at villainy. It's pretty up in the air.
Well, you have the first scene of the first film is Gru walking around being kind of a badass, right? He's not taking anything from anybody. He's stealing stuff. He's doing what he wants. Then when confronted with the bank, we're supposed to think that like now he's scared. Now he's like not capable, and that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's real odd because he's not like bumbling in a way that makes him endearing or good at villainy in a way that makes you want to root for him to be bad. It's very gray space, which is why that's a huge part of why I like the second movie more than the first movie, because you can get behind him being a dad in the second movie.
I know what makes you a boy.
Who you do?
Your bald head.
Oh, yes.
The first film, like when he's fighting Vector and everything, he just loses again and again and again. And we're only told that Vector is like, he sucks. He's awful.
Vector's a loser, and
Yeah.
our guy's losing to the loser. Why is he our guy?
But then at the end, all of a sudden, he just does it.
Right.
And then he's super capable. But in 2, there's more consistency.
Yeah.
There's much more consistency. And then I'll give this in 3. In 3, they follow it through, but just say, oh, the bad guy's more powerful.
And it takes 2
Yes.
to bring him down.
I like that.
I don't hate it. So what I think is the Minions have helped Gru more than we know. And then after you see Minion movie, you know that maybe they're not always helping him, right? Maybe building something for him, maybe tearing something down. So maybe that's where we get these. The real through line, the real story here is Minions. It's not Gru.
It's never been Gru.
It's never been about Gru. It's always been about Bob, Kevin, Stu, Mel, Tom, Kyle, Keith.
You know, it's weird because like I rewatching them, I thought I was gonna get annoyed because that's the public perception.
You either love or hate Minions,
Yeah.
right? You're either dancing to Minion's song at your wedding, or you're like cursing their name, never want to see a GIF again, would burn your own business down to avoid working with any like Minion content.
But then like even the Minions become inconsistent throughout the trilogy. In 3, for no reason at all, after we're told in 2 and 1 that they're treated really well and they just love being around Gru,
Yeah.
doing what he wants. Out of nowhere now, they're on strike and they want to be villains?
I have a big problem with that through line in 3. You're right, because yeah, they are fed up, done, okay, and then they go to prison.
Yeah.
And what we know from the Minion movie is that they just keep looking and looking and looking for the baddest bad guy, the most villainous villain to serve. Okay, so now they're in prison. Would it not make sense that they'd be moving up the food chain in prison, serving the biggest and baddest bad guys? But instead they just have their own thing going and they like run the place. Super inconsistent. And then also like we don't get enough whiffs of regret before Mel decides to take it all back and go find Gru again.
It's very quick. It's like
On a
2
dime.
scenes. And like the scenes are cute.
They
you
are.
know? It shows like, hey, Gru actually cares
Yes.
for these characters.
Yes, showing us that, very cute. It pushes in the right direction. What I do love about, they were very smart in all of the movies to take out the Minions. Which, okay, now you're confused, I bet, right? Because I love them and I want to see them. But as a plot device, you can't just have 300 minions running around, nameless, faceless creatures. They're hard to. So they always have something that takes them out. They get abducted by the ice cream truck. They go to prison, whatever it is, and then you have the three primary minions left: Kevin, Bob, and Stu. And so Kevin, Bob, and Stu can be distinguished easily from their physical features and their personalities, and you can follow along with them really easily. But eventually, the mass of minions comes back, and you get like these really fun antics, and they, stack together like the what are those, monkeys in a barrel? Like they're doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Mel! Welcome back.
Oh my God, we didn't even touch on the purple minions. That's why 2 is so good. You have the minions are in peril. Gru has to save the minions.
There's an obstacle against the minions.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. So he's
fun.
saving the Earth from the minions. Because they're just killing machines.
They're
once they get that purple
monsters.
serum. Their hair goes all frizzy, they turn purple, and they're just like going to town on everything. And then so he has to save the Earth from the minions, he has to save the minions from the serum. It's a great, they use the jelly, the jam, the Dr. Nefario jam.
Nasty jam.
To honestly, is this where we get into the anti-vax commentary?
What do you on about?
Against their will. Maybe they don't even consider themselves sick. He shoots them with a vaccination. He uses the jelly to mass inject everybody with this cure that no one asked for. I'm just saying.
What?
So they have the mall villains. I love the mall.
Yeah,
I love
very
the
fun.
mall. As much as I detest the design of the people in these movies, the design of the mall is as cool.
It's an easy way to make a setting that we can go back to again and again.
But they don't because they skip eyelids on Gru, but they give us like a movie theater and a popcorn shop and a sushi place and all these things in the mall
weird.
that are so detailed in the background that you never go
really
into.
Cute.
And it's awesome to look at. But no eyelids for
No
Gru.
eyelids for Gru? What the fuck?
Let's talk real quick about the design of people in these Illumination
Let's
movies.
not talk real quick. Some of these motherfuckers are disgusting.
I hate looking at them. They're tiny, skinny noodle arms and like sausage fingers and big noses. Like none of it makes sense. I don't like looking at it. It's always bad angles. The like shading on them is terrible. There's the only scene where Lucy looks right is in the dark.
It's crazy.
It's that dark scene where and the moonlight is lighting them up, so there's a lot of shading, so her legs actually look like round.
Yeah.
First time in the whole film. For my money, Balthazar Brat is the best villain in the series.
Yeah.
I've been a bad boy!
Yes.
I like his design, the exception to the rule, right? Like
Yes.
he does have the skinny arms and the sausage fingers, and it's okay. Like he actually is like fine look because they go all out on his like the rest of his look. He has a bald spot and a mullet and a huge mustache. Like
Nasty mustache.
He looks, oh, I love it.
Trey Parker? What a pick.
Very good.
What a crazy
Very
pick.
good.
Do you think people were afraid to ask you to do something? Why didn't you get asked until now?
I don't know. I think everyone assumes or knows that I'm a dick.
The beginning of 3 is so strong.
Yeah.
Maybe going back to the well, like too many times, because in 2, the antagonist is basically like the purple serum.
Mm-hmm.
Purple is opposite of yellow on the color wheel. But we didn't have to do it again, because Balthazar Brat's design in 3 is purple.
It's all purple.
He's purple.
It's a lot of purple.
And then the bubblegum is pink, so it's like, all right, we have a splash of something else, but like, I don't know, nitpicking maybe at that point. But I think if you see 2, you're gonna be disappointed by 3. If you don't see 2, you'll probably enjoy 3 because it starts really, really strong and then kinda falls apart there. There's too much. Like, they try to do a subplot with each girl individually.
Yeah, it's too much, and they're all, like, mixed together because it's all trying to be the whole evolution of Gru as a character, where it's like, okay, now we have to talk about how Lucy is married, and it's like, oh, can she even be a mother? And it's like, God, you're not even doing this correctly. You're not even giving it time to breathe, time to say something.
I forgot about the whole, like, she's struggling with her new role as a parent.
And
we don't need it.
But that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to talk about.
It would
These
be,
are
if
orphans.
that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, but we're not talking about it.
When you look at the films and you step back and look at Gru.
So why talk about it if you're gonna give us like a glimpse of it?
Yeah.
And then like resolution immediately. There's no point to it. Just focus on like the unicorn bit. Make that the entire subplot.
Oh my God.
And it's cute and it's fine. The little goat at the end.
There were a lot of near misses where it's like they set something up and you could see how they could have tightened it up and hit a home run.
Yeah.
Like, she did not, the little girl, Agnes, did not need to go to the forest. We did not need that whole other, she could have found that baby goat behind the unicorn bar.
Yeah.
Boom. Done.
We're there.
Like, nice little bow on that. We didn't need to spend so much time going to this magical forest and Gru disappointing her by saying like, oh, maybe it won't be real, maybe it will, oh, he can't deliver bad news. Like, we didn't need that. We didn't need the older girl getting engaged through some weird custom. Like, we didn't need that. What the middle sister even get?
Nothing.
She eats spaghetti weird, right? That's her thing? That's her moment in the movie? She has something. But like, you know, you have the main plot of the movie is him reconnecting with a long-lost brother and them trying to work out like, you know, can they work together? Do they want to work together? Are they too different? Do they have common ground? That's a great story to tell, but like, you've got all the other family dynamics as a subplot, and it's just like, and then
the Minions.
You have to get back to the Minions, who are in prison.
There's too much going on.
C'est gros comme boobs.
Interesting way to wrap up the trilogy in 3, with Gru facing a family member who wants to be a villain, but he has no interest in it. But like, there's no real stakes to it.
Right. I kept waiting for the turn of Drew.
Yes.
I thought Gru's brother Drew is gonna do something evil to Gru.
Yes.
And that will either be the catalyst for, you know, like the final fight, or it will prove to Gru that Drew is evil and they can be villains together. But it's also like Gru is still fighting that internal battle and a conflict with Lucy, his now wife.
Yeah.
Of can he be evil or not? Because she still wants to work for the Anti-Villain League.
I'm gonna be failed! I'm okay!
The series falls flat with, like, it's funny and it's entertaining at times, and don't get me wrong, like, the performances are fine, but in the end, what should be looked for in films like this, where there is a structure, is a follow-through, a story, something we can latch on to. It's not just bits, right?
I think the major misstep, unnecessary motion, a lot of wasted movement. These, like you're saying, things could have been tied up and resolved, and there could have been payoffs a lot snappier, a lot more efficiently. The skeptical part of me is like, they wouldn't have had enough time to fill. But that's not true.
No.
You could have expanded on a lot of things within that more efficient plot, that more efficient payoff, that would have been more satisfying to see than a weird side trip to an enchanted forest.
When you're making a film like this, if you ask me, what's interesting in the end, where it's not bits and goofs and gaffes, are the characters. The characters are the heart of the film. Gru and his relationships are what we need to follow. When that isn't done correctly, there's no point.
And when you get, you know, the director or creator saying the movie's about the emotional growth of Gru and you can't deliver that, stick to the bits. Which, Minion bits. I mean, they never fail. I have my issues with the prison plot, but we can get into that when we cover the Minions movie because it ties in more to the backstory of the Minions. But they're, you know, even just as a standalone 3, don't consider what you know about Minion lore. I don't like how that unfolds, where Mel decides he's unhappy, leads a strike, they go off, then they go to prison, then all of a sudden he decides he misses Gru, and then they break out of prison and go back. It's like, you could have done more with those moments and showed that emotional journey that Mel has.
Why
and his
not
connection.
make the Minions a character when it comes to this world that we're trying to build?
It's like they saw in 1, Golden Goose, in 2, capitalized on it. Thought they had that with the girls, and tried to do that in 3. Like 2 was an expansion of the Minions from 1, and 3 was an expansion from the girls in 2. Wrong. Keep the girls and Lucy where they belong.
Yes.
Minor. Minions, front and center. I want Minions on my screen.
So, kind of wrapping everything up, it's time to talk about whether honks or not. Minions aside, Despicable Me 1, 2, and 3. I say we lump them in together.
As a series.
As a series, whether or not honks. Personally, okay, it varies between the two. We don't have like a middle bar, right?
You don't know.
Don't.
It's honks or doesn't honk.
So.
And if you're gonna give them to me as a lump sum, as a 3-part series, as a trilogy, the Despicable Me trilogy doesn't honk.
No, does not honk.
It doesn't honk.
It fails at a lot of the easiest things when it comes to storytelling and basic plot structure.
I don't want to leave a movie frustrated saying they should have done this, they should have done this, they could have done that, they had this right there. Why didn't they pick up on this detail? I want all of those things done for me.
So, does not honk.
Minions honks.
Oh no.